And now for a Democrat's take, we turn to Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland. Senator, welcome back to the NewsHour. Is there any sign of a breakthrough as far as you know?
I have not given up hope that we can get a vote in the Senate tomorrow to reopen the government for 2 weeks till February 8th, which would give us a little breathing room, a little space to end this madness, because a timeout really doesn't prejudice anybody's arguments. It would allow federal government employees to get their paychecks, to be repaid. They can pay their bills. It would allow us to do a little bit of the business of the federal government and then have a discussion to end this shutdown madness.
But you're referring to the Democratic proposal, is that right?
Well, it's not really a Democratic proposal. I would say the Democratic proposal is the one that I support. It was voted on the very first day of the session in the House of Representatives. It's in the Senate. It's had bipartisan Senate support, which would open the federal government and fully fund the agencies through the end of the fiscal year. So this is not that Democratic proposal. This is a stopgap measure, 2 weeks timeout. Again, I don't think it's the greatest idea, but it's certainly the best alternative that we have in front of us right now to end the shutdown.
But as far as we know right now, Republicans are not prepared to support that. They've got the majority in the Senate. You were just telling me you're about to go to a meeting of bipartisan senators. Is there some give on both sides that you think could reach some kind of agreement tomorrow?
Well, what I hope to come out of this meeting is an understanding that the best way forward tomorrow would be to open the government for this 2-week period and give the Senate time to work on these issues in the regular order. So we can consider the president's proposal, but it should also be subject to open amendment. Let people vote however they want. Let the American people know where they stand. Look, Lindsey Graham, Senator Graham, proposed the idea of a 3-week opening of the government a little while ago. This is even a smaller window, a shorter window, 2 weeks, and that would give a little breathing room here.
Obviously, you have a lot of federal employees in the state of Maryland. What are you hearing from your constituents right now?
I'm hearing two things, Judy. First and foremost, people want to get back and do their jobs for the American people. I mean, these are people who are civil servants, but they're also telling stories about how they're getting totally squeezed, right? I mean, their paychecks have stopped, but the bills keep coming in. So lots of them are having trouble paying their rent and their mortgages. I spoke to the head of a community college recently who said that they were having to work out payment plans because parents who worked for the federal government, parents who had students at college, couldn't make the monthly installment plans. So this is really squeezing the pocketbooks, and that's why you're seeing even those 100,000 employees who are still being asked to work without pay, they're not able to cover some of their very basic expenses, like getting to work. It's costing them to do their work for the federal government.
Senator, on just the basic proposal here, the president wants some money at least for a physical wall. Democrats have supported that in the past. Why not go along with some of that now in order to get the government open again?
As you said, we have proposed physical barriers in strategic areas. What we will not do is operate under a total threat of shutdown. And the reason why is because this will become habit forming for President Trump. If he thinks that every time he doesn't get his way, he can shut down the government like this, it will be a recipe for continuing government shutdown. So I will say that if you look at the proposal the president made the other day from the Oval Office, as you look more closely, it includes all these poison pills that he didn't talk about. It would actually change our asylum laws in ways which would make it much harder for unaccompanied adults who'd been victims of sexual violence and were the victims of sexual trafficking to seek asylum in the United States. A lot of things like that that were in that proposal. We should not be holding the entire country hostage in the process. And that's why this 2-week timeout is a good idea. It's not the best idea by any means, but it is the best option on the table today.
Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland, thank you very much.
Thank you.